Welcome to the Network Plus Prepcast, your dedicated audio companion for mastering every objective on the CompTIA Network Plus certification exam. This series is produced by baremetalcyber.com. When users report sluggish performance, dropped connections, or inconsistent network behavior, the root cause often lies at the link layer, layer 2 of the OSI model. While deeper packet inspection and protocol analysis have their place, many day-to-day connectivity issues can be traced back to simple link layer problems, such as duplex mismatches, transceiver failures, or improperly seated cables. These types of faults are particularly common at the access layer, where end-user devices connect to switches and where changes happen frequently. Link layer diagnostics give technicians the ability to detect, isolate, and resolve issues quickly, often within minutes, before escalating to more complex investigative steps. This episode explores the diagnostic techniques and tools available at the link layer. We'll walk through the symptoms and root causes of duplex mismatches, review how transceivers operate and fail, and explain how to interpret LED indicators for status and troubleshooting. These tools are invaluable during initial triage and are some of the first things a field technician or help desk analyst should check when a problem is reported. For exam preparation, this material also supports several objectives that require interpreting linked symptoms, matching transceiver components, and using LED signals to assess connection health. One of the most common Layer 2 misconfigurations is a duplex mismatch. In Ethernet networking, duplex defines whether a device can send and receive data simultaneously. In full duplex mode, data flows in both directions at once. In half-duplex mode, transmission happens in one direction at a time, with devices taking turns. A duplex mismatch occurs when one end of the connection is set to full duplex and the other to half-duplex. This misalignment leads to collisions, excessive retransmissions, and poor throughput. It's a silent performance killer. Connectivity may appear normal, but performance degrades significantly, especially under load. The symptoms of a duplex mismatch are subtle but distinct. Users may report slow file transfers, inconsistent speeds, or long wait times when accessing network resources. From the switch's perspective, you may observe CRC errors, late collisions, or unusually high interface utilization, even when actual data throughput is low. These issues point to repeated attempts to retransmit frames due to contention between the two endpoints. The more traffic sent across a mismatched link, the worse the performance becomes. Recognizing these patterns helps isolate the issue faster. To troubleshoot duplex mismatches, begin by checking the interface configurations on both sides of the link. On a managed switch, view the interface settings to confirm the negotiated speed and duplex mode. Do the same on the connected device, whether it's a workstation, server, or another switch. Ideally, both ends should be set to auto negotiation, or both ends should be manually configured with matching speed and duplex settings. Problems typically occur when one side is set to auto and the other to manual. This leads to negotiation confusion and mismatched modes. Always avoid mixing manual and auto configurations. Transceivers are another key component in link layer troubleshooting. These are modular interfaces such as SFP, small form factor pluggable, or GBIC, gigabit interface converter, that convert electrical signals to optical signals and vice versa. Transceivers enable flexible networking by allowing the same switch or router port to support different types of fiber or copper interfaces. They are essential in enterprise networks, particularly in backbone uplink and interbuilding connection. When a transceiver fails or is mismatched with its cable or port, link problems occur instantly. Identifying transceiver failures usually starts with the link light. If the light is off or the port is down, the transceiver might be faulty or improperly seated. Logs may show link up/down flapping, CRC errors, or speed negotiation issues. The fastest way to confirm a transceiver fault is to replace it with a known good module and observe whether the link stabilizes. Most vendors recommend using only approved or certified transceivers, as compatibility varies between platforms. Using off-brand modules can sometimes result in unpredictable behavior or reduced visibility into status and diagnostics. Compatibility is a common issue with transceivers. A mismatch in connector type, such as using a multi-mode transceiver with a single-mode fiber, will prevent the link from establishing. Likewise, speed mismatches, trying to use a 1 Gbps module on a 10 Gbps port, result in failed negotiation. Some switches or routers will log explicit errors when a mismatched transceiver is detected, while others will simply fail to establish a link. Using the correct type, such as SFP versus SFP+, matching wavelengths for fiber optics, and ensuring proper polarity is critical for stability and performance. Handling transceivers correctly is also important. The optical elements inside fiber transceivers are sensitive to dust, static, and physical stress. Even a small particle of dust on the connector can prevent the signal from passing through, resulting in a link that appears up but performs poorly or inconsistently. Always use proper cleaning tools, such as fiber optic inspection pens and lint-free wipes. Avoid touching the tip of the connector, and always replace dust caps when the transceiver is not in use. Never force a transceiver into a port, and always depress the locking tab before removal. LED indicators are one of the fastest and simplest tools for link diagnostics. These lights, usually located next to switch ports or NICs, provide visual feedback on the status of the connection. A solid green light typically means that the link is active and the device has successfully negotiated speed and duplex. Blinking green lights often indicate traffic activity. Amber lights may suggest a warning condition, such as a speed mismatch or degraded connection. No light usually means that the device cannot detect a physical link, pointing to a cable issue, port failure, or transceiver fault. Reading and interpreting LED behavior helps technicians form quick hypotheses. If a port previously had a light and now doesn't, check for a loose connector or cable dislodged during cleaning or movement. If the light is amber and blinking rapidly, check for errors on the port using command line tools. Many devices include additional LED indicators for speed, where green might indicate gigabit and amber might indicate 100 Mbps. Since status LEDs vary by vendor, always refer to the specific switch or device documentation. Still, as a general rule, these lights provide a visual baseline for troubleshooting that requires no special tools or software. For more cyber content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. LEDs may seem simple, but they are invaluable during initial diagnostics. These visual indicators allow technicians to instantly confirm whether a port is powered, connected, or passing data. For copper Ethernet links, a missing LED signal often means that the cable isn't connected properly, the port is disabled, or the device on the other end isn't powered. Comparing LEDs across multiple ports can quickly reveal if one workstation is having problems while others are not. If most ports are blinking but one shows no activity, you've already narrowed down the issue to a specific cable, device, or port. This eliminates guesswork and prevents unnecessary troubleshooting steps at higher layers of the OSI model. Fiber links also use LEDs to indicate activity, but these signals are often located on the transceiver module itself or are relayed through software interfaces. Because fiber optics do not emit visible light, the link status can be harder to observe. Some SFPs have a tiny LED on their casing, while others depend entirely on switch indicators or command line interface outputs. On many enterprise-grade switches, the CLI will report interface status, transceiver health, light levels, and even the wavelength currently in use. These details provide valuable insight, but often require login access, unlike copper port LEDs, which can be read visually. Logging plays a major role in link layer troubleshooting, especially when diagnosing intermittent issues or verifying historical behavior. Transceiver insertion and removal events are typically logged in real time. When a transceiver is inserted, the device may note the vendor ID, model number, and supported speeds. If a link repeatedly goes up and down, syslog messages will show timestamps and reasons for each event. Common entries include link state change, port flapping detected, or transceiver not supported. These logs can be reviewed via CLI or forwarded to a central SIEM system. For long-term health tracking or regulatory compliance, SNMP traps can alert admins to signal degradation, excessive errors, or temperature warnings from optical modules. Duplex mismatches and transceiver issues directly affect performance, not just connectivity. While a link may appear active, mismatched configurations lead to degraded quality, especially in real-time applications. Jittery variation in packet arrival time may cause choppy voice or frozen video during calls. High retransmission rates can delay web sessions or corrupt file transfers. Even bursty applications like remote desktop can suffer from stuttering and lag. These symptoms often lead technicians to focus on application layer settings, when the true cause lies in a simple duplex conflict or a dirty transceiver. Understanding how link layer faults translate into user-greenable problems is essential for proper triage. The Network Plus exam frequently tests your ability to interpret link layer problems and match them to appropriate tools or actions. You may be asked to identify the symptoms of a duplex mismatch, choose the right type of transceiver for a fiber uplink, or determine what a blinking amber LED means in a scenario. You'll also need to recognize when to replace a transceiver, clean a connector, or check interface settings for speed and duplex consistency. The exam rewards a practical understanding of real-world troubleshooting. Memorization is less important than recognizing how misconfiguration or faulty components manifest during operations. Proactive monitoring of link layer health helps prevent problems before they disrupt users. Auditing interface configurations on switches and routers ensures that speed and duplex settings are consistent across similar device types. After upgrades or re-imaging of systems, technicians should verify that NICs haven't defaulted to incompatible settings. Logging tools can be configured to flag unexpected link state changes or negotiation failures. Alerts tied to link behavior help catch cable or transceiver faults early, while SNP-based monitoring can track error counters and performance anomalies. The goal is to stay ahead of user complaints by addressing problems as soon as they appear in logs or metrics. Link layer diagnostics are also heavily used in field support and first response situations. When a user reports slow speeds or disconnection, the technician's first step is often a glance at the LED. If the port light is off or amber, they know to begin with the cable or transceiver. If the light is green, but the performance is poor, checking duplex settings or replacing patch cables becomes the next logical step. These checks are accessible even without system login or advanced tools, making them ideal for remote sites, satellite offices, or walk-up troubleshooting. They are fast, reliable, and cost-effective. To summarize, link layer diagnostics offers some of the quickest and most reliable wins in network troubleshooting. They form the foundation of daily operations and rapid response activities. LEDs indicate port and link status. Duplex mismatches cause performance issues that are often invisible unless you're looking in the right place. Transceivers can introduce hard-to-find problems when dirty, mismatched, or failing. All of these elements can be inspected and often resolved without packet captures, deep logs, or external analysis tools. When troubleshooting, always start at the link. It's where visibility begins, and it's where many problems can be solved immediately. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Network Plus Prepcast, your trusted audio guide to the CompTIA Network Plus certification. This episode was produced by baremetalcyber.com. For more cybersecurity podcasts, books, and resources, visit baremetalcyber.com. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cybersecurity Plus podcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com. And before you take the test, make sure to check out the practice questions in the book Achieve CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. They cover every domain and are a powerful way to lock in your knowledge.